During Minecon Earth, you get to vote on Mob A, the monster of the ocean depths. The monster will attack you with its tongue-like tentacle to pull you down and drown you. It spawns in deep waters and uses its large mouth to propel itself forward. You should vote for this mob because the oceans currently don't have that much content. And it would make it more exciting when traveling from island to island.
For a brief moment, a very brief moment, but a brief moment, we were this close to perfection. We could have had it all. Better oceans, deeper oceans, cooler oceans, oceans that are more alive, oceans that have drowned, and also, maybe, oceans that have a mob that pulls you down into the deep oceans, the dark depths, and drowns you. But no, as fate would have it, instead, we as a community, we chose the Skyrat, even better. Yep, that's right. Skyrat is king. Yes, I voted for the Phantom. It is partially my fault, but what if, maybe, just what if, in an alternate reality, I voted for Mob A, and the community did too? What would Minecraft be like nowadays with Mob A helping fill out the oceans even more? Well, wonder no more, because today is the day that we find out, thanks to an elite tier data pack created by EB Mario. There is a link to the data pack that we're checking out in today's video, partially down in the description below. Oh, the moment is almost here. If you haven't yet, you better take a seat. Definitely, because you're in for a big surprise. Elites, please allow me to introduce you to none other than Mob A, also known as, in this data pack, the Drencher. Look at this beast. This thing is absolutely amazing looking. Look at it. The texture is done beautifully. The tongue, the globe texture thing around the outside. Oh, in a deep ocean, this thing would look amazing. Look at it. It's swimming around. You definitely, absolutely wouldn't want to mess with this thing. Yep, that definitely looks like it could pull you in and hurt you. Like a lot, definitely. If it didn't behave like a squid and try and swim into blocks. Yep, that's definitely terrifying. Absolutely. But unlike YouTube this year, it's rewind time. Let's take a step back for a second. Back in 2017, at the live event, whatever it was called back then, fans got to vote on 4 mobs. Mob A, B, C, and D. The results of that mob vote were as following. Phantom. The Phantom won that mob vote, so we got Phantoms and Phantom Membrane. Now, don't get me wrong, the Phantom is cool. It's an interesting concept, and Phantom Membrane, I like it. It's nice, nothing personal. The potion of slow falling, in fact, it's actually insanely useful, at least when you're falling. But here's the thing that I've never understood. So, 2017 Minecon, we get 4 mob options, and one of those mobs is an underwater mob. Guess what update was also revealed at that same event in 2017? Definitely not an update that involved the ocean. Yeah, okay, it was definitely, actually, an update that involved the oceans. The update Aquatic was revealed at that event. Imagine how perfectly Mob A would have fit into the update Aquatic. But instead of another cool water mob to help fill out that update, me, and the majority of the community chose the Phantom. So of course, this is the data pack. It takes a lot of liberty here with this mob, but for the most part, this data pack here seems to stay pretty true to this mob, or at least how this mob would have been if it got added into Minecraft. So in this pack, this creature right here, Mob A, is known as the Drencher. The Drencher is definitely a hostile mob that pulls you towards it. Okay, I'm stuck in the glass. Hold on. Let's go ahead and try that one again. This mob right here is Mob A, also known as the Drencher. Now, the Drencher is a hostile mob. This mob does not like the player, but it also won't just seek out the player and attack the player, unless we get too close to it. Check that out. If I get too close to the Drencher, it has effectively grabbed me, pulled me under the water, and bit me a little bit too. Now, the real problem here with the Drencher isn't the attack. The attack isn't all that strong, and the mob itself also isn't all that strong. It doesn't have a lot of health. The problem here is the whole drowning thing. Look at this. I can't move. I'm trying so hard to move, and I literally can't. This mob has its grip on me and would hold me under the water until I drowned, unless, of course, I take that mob out. That implementation right there is like at least 1.5 billion times cooler than the Phantom, especially if you're like me and you sleep every single nighttime and you never even get to see the Phantom. That mechanic right there is actually terrifying. A mob that actually isn't all that strong, but can pull you under the water and drown you. And drowning is always a problem, whether it's early game, mid game, or late game. Now, obviously, of course, late game, maybe you have that decked out set of netherite armor nowadays. And yes, absolutely on that set of netherite armor, you have the good water enchantments, but still, this mob, this creature right here, if you get too close to it, will pull you down, and that's going to be a problem for sure. Now, realistically, if you've got that netherite armor, you've probably got a netherite sword, right? Yeah, probably. Yeah, if you have full netherite armor, you definitely have a netherite sword, but that still won't stop the drencher from being a problem. I mean, I don't know if you guys caught it right there, but the drencher pulled me clean out of this boat, or more so, it pulled the boat down clean under the water, and then proceeded to try and drown me. Now, of course, the sword is really good, and it's gonna help me clean up the drencher really, really quick. But definitely, it's still dangerous, especially if it was an ambush. Now, real quick, before we go check this thing out in the wild, because yes, this data pack does enable it in survival mode, let's talk about the drops that I've gotten so far. I've taken out a lot of drenchers. This is what I've gotten. Pretty reliably, I've gotten raw cod and empty maps, which is interesting. You wouldn't think a map would come from this thing, but I kind of get it, because where you encounter this thing is where you would be exploring. A whole lot more uncommonly, I've gotten nautilus shells, and then one time, I did get the heart of the sea, which was really, really cool. So let's go ahead and drop in a couple drenchers right here, take them out with our looting 3 sharpness 5 sword, this thing right here, and then see what we get. And maybe we'll get something new, but probably not. I'm pretty sure that those are the main drops from this thing. A nautilus shell right there, that's cool. Take out this one, okay. And then you, any heart of the sea? Probably not. Yep, just a couple maps, some cod, and a nautilus shell. So that's the drencher, really, really cool. But where do you find the drencher? Like, let's say in survival mode, where could I find the drencher in this world? Well, first things first, obviously, for starters, the drencher is a water mob. So first, you're gonna wanna find water, but not just any water. This lake right here, that's not gonna do. I would never find a drencher there. That would be weird. Instead, this river would probably be a safer bet. If you're looking for a drencher in survival mode, by the rules of this data pack, the drencher can spawn anywhere that a drowned can spawn. If you need a drowned refresher, well, I don't blame you. Here you go. Drowned can spawn in all ocean variants and in all river biomes as well. So let's actually go ahead and head over to the ocean and see if we can find any drenchers. So here we are over at our nearby ocean. And by nearby, I mean this thing was really, really far away. Drenchers. Drenchers are the name of the game. And hey, right off the bat, would you take a look at that? Maybe it's kind of hard to see, but let's go ahead and dive down in the water, and boom, would you look at that? We have at least the 3 drenchers right there, and a bunch of drowned as well. Now, drenchers are going to spawn anywhere the drowned can spawn, but they will spawn more frequently around ocean ruins. And check this out, that is actually where we ended up landing. Now, that is absolutely unfortunate. Check that out. That was a drencher right there, and probably a drowned as well. Now, let's go ahead and flip into survival mode and check this out. How difficult would this be? So obviously, we have to worry about all of the drowned over here, but also we're gonna have to worry about the drenchers. To balance things a little bit, I went ahead and took off some of the netherite armor, but also I could definitely use some food. I feel like food is kind of fair. So the drowned actually locked right onto me and came over here, kind of as to be expected. Now, how about all of these guys over here? Okay, so we're up on the surface of the ocean. Are they gonna notice me? The drowned definitely do, always. How about these, though? I don't know if they're just maybe having a bad day or what, but they're not really noticing me. So let's say I cleared out all of the drowned. It seems like the drowned would lock onto you anyways. Then maybe you were ready to pretty much swim down into the ocean. Oh boy, stay away from that. That's dangerous. Let's say we're gonna go down here and get the treasure. Is that where the problem Yep, as to be expected. That's gonna be where the problem begins. As soon as we try and swim down into the ocean depth to check out the treasure, these drenchers are gonna notice me and grab me. Definitely a problem. And a creeper, too. Where did you even come from, dude? You just go away. No. I was saying, it seems like for the drenchers to lock onto you in this data pack, you need to be a little bit closer to them. So a warm ocean, theoretically, with the ground being higher up, that should be a whole lot more dangerous. So I've teleported far, far away, and I have another warm ocean, and apparently a gigantic ocean ruin right over here, too, which is pretty sweet. I think I'd like to start by sailing right over this ocean ruin. There's definitely a couple drenchers down there. Are they going to see me all the way up here, or am I pretty much golden to them? I hear the noise, for sure. I would never sit up here in the boat above the thing, but let's say I did. Standing around up here, it seems like they're all hanging out down low, which means I would be safe up here if I'm just sailing around. Oh, but it, like, is angry. Oh, those noises are freaky. If the drencher were to have ever been implemented in Minecraft and it ended up having a longer lock-on and pull-down range, then the drencher could be absolutely devastating, even to a player that's a little later on in their world. But yeah, it seems like the drencher's biggest limitation today is the lock-on radius. I mean, maybe I'm not seeing any over here, but this is pretty shallow, so if a drencher were over here, it would totally lock onto me and pull me under the water. But, of course, Elites Gamers, what do you think? Do you like how the drencher has been implemented in this data pack? This data pack also has 2 other really cool mobs. Would you like to see a video on those mobs? If you would, smash a like. Until next time, Elites, it's been me, your boy Waddles. Today, big shout out to my patron, Dark Panther 7. Thank you so much for the support. Stay fresh. Goodbye, everyone.